Welcome to Taking Off Topic. I'm your host, Amanda Rankin, and I am here with my special guest, Lakesha Gates, who is the author of Butterfly Season, Growing Wings, a story of a servant leader and the cost of clarity. Lakesha, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to dive in, but before we even start, please take a moment, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lakesha Gates. I am a life coach. I am a facilitator. I am a fierce advocate for your vision. I'm slightly annoying when it comes to that. If I'm being honest, like if you don't want me to hound you, don't share it with me because what you do, me and that vision gonna be locked in. That is simply who I am. My desire is to embolden servant leaders to contribute their life's work to their worlds, to their sphere of influence. And I'm hoping that this book, The Butterfly Season, helps me in that mission.
I love it. If I had one of those sound effects like doo 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 doo, I'd just be hitting every button. To say that I'm proud of you is not even the word to encompass it all. But yeah, I'm so proud of you. Now I know because I know you personally that this had been on your vision board last year when we did the Dreaming Retreat that you facilitate for us, and it was wonderful, right? And to see that on your board and then to see it now, it's like, okay, I see what you're doing, and
Yeah.
so that to me is powerful, right? It just speaks to the power of the vision board, the prayer boards, the retreat that you held. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but it's just exciting, right? It's exciting for me to see the people that I'm connected to truly walking out all the things that God has poured into them.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I'm very, very proud of you. So let's dive into it. So, what was your motivation behind writing the book?
First of all, God is a hound. He gets on your neck and then he's like, do what I ask you to do until you acquiesce to said request. And so let's just put that out. That's
The truth. That is what it is.
can't shake that up any other way. But honestly, I knew that the dip of 2022 was such a significant shift in my life. It's befitting that he chose that season to write a book about, right? It was a way for me to share my testimony and the stories that I went through, put words, because sometimes you just need words to feel like I'm not going through this alone. Somebody else has experienced this. I just don't have the vocabulary to say this is it. And I'm hoping that the butterfly season gives people that vocabulary to say, oh, I'm in this season of my life. I can recognize that I've experienced that and they can pinpoint themselves on the journey. So I wanted to use my testimony and the stories of some of the transitions that I've been through in my life to help others navigate their butterfly seasons.
Yeah, that's good because when I get the book and I'm so excited because we've been talking about it. You wouldn't let us read the manuscripts or nothing. And so we get the book and I'm just like, now I don't even want to open it. Now I don't even want to read it. And so I look at the back and there's a quote from someone who did get to read it prior to print. And it says, this is a book, but it's also a manual, a how-to guide for those who need something that they can pick up and read when they need to be reminded of not only who God is, but who he has called them to be. And
Yeah.
I was like, that is so true. Because I was like, okay, this is gonna be a little quick read. I can get through it real quick. But you drop in so many gems, and then you have these prompt questions that make you kind of sit back with yourself and really think about where am I in this season? Where am I? What am I doing? It definitely caused me to reflect on different things like, oh, that was this. That's why this was like that. And it's exciting. You did a phenomenal job and true to you, true to Lakeisha form, off the bat, you set up the scenario of this is what it is and this is what it's not.
Yes.
And I love that about you. I love that that's just you. You're gonna tell you I'm a servant leader, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a child of God. Like these are the things that I am, and these are the things that I am not.
Period.
And that's how you set us up in the book. You come out with this great analogy between fly season and butterfly season and really compare the two. If you can tell us what's the difference between being in a fly season versus a butterfly season.
Well, in preparation for this book, having studied Now, not a master's level study, but a little research, a little research. I realized that butterflies are not the only insects that go through a metamorphosis. There's other insects that do, but the one that stuck out to me more than anything else was the fly.
Mhm.
And I cannot stand a fly. If you ask any of like my family, my cousins, my grandparents, they would be so mad at me because just the sound of a fly in my ear drives me insane. And I'm running from the fly, and they're like, Keisha, you're bigger than the fly. But I realized like this fly represented the total opposite of what a butterfly experience is.
Mhm.
In that a fly looks like it's being productive.
Yes.
But if you start to look at, it starts out from death, from things that have rotted, or if you leave food in the refrigerator too long, you're gonna have a situation on your hand. You're gonna have to throw the whole refrigerator out.
Seriously.
You know what
Seriously.
I'm
Like you will throw your back out trying to kill a fly.
saying?
I'm just telling you from experience.
For real. And that thing grows and it looks like it's flittering about and it looks like it's being productive, but it is not. It
Mhm.
is circling the same environment. It goes, it lands where it's convenient, right? Where
Right.
things stink, where things are dying, where places that we don't want to be. And
Mhm.
so a fly season can look like it's being productive, but if it's easy, if it's comfortable, it's not a butterfly season.
Mhm. And you say in the book, a fly season is when you're moving, but you're stuck. You're producing, but it's not fruitful. You look busy, but you're really not. A fly season can still be full of quote unquote results, but it's empty in fulfillment. And I was like, that is powerful because a lot of times you can be doing a lot of things, right? You got your hands in a lot of pots, but it's like, what are you really doing? Like, you're just busy.
Exactly. Exactly. And then that butterfly season kind of looks the opposite until it doesn't, right? Like a caterpillar looks like it's just chilling, eating leaves. It's like look at me. I am beautiful in my own right. But I walk on the land or I climb trees or I just eat leaves like almost like Akuna Matata. Like we just,
Yeah. Or almost like, don't look at me, right?
yeah,
I'm just over here eating the
I'm
leaves,
just, yeah,
minding mine.
yeah, minding my business
Yeah.
until it's compelled to be something, not a shift, but something completely different,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that butterfly has to go through this space of stillness. It has to go through this place of surrender, shedding, the breaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so we look at the butterfly as like this beautiful species. It contributes to the ecosystem. It does all the things, but it had to go through a process
Yeah, that's
to
good.
get there.
That's good. And you say the butterfly's process is rooted in intentional surrender, not convenience. They go inward before they ever come outward. They embrace dying to their old self to become something brand new. And I was like, that's deep. Okay, dropping gems. Hashtag word alert. But I was like, that's a hard process, right? Because surrender sounds easy. But when you have been quote unquote result oriented,
Yes.
it's like, wait, what am I surrendering? This is working.
Yeah. And this book is not for the person who's just piddling through life. This is for the high functioning, high achieving women and men. Mostly women, because I'm going to speak to who I am, but there are men too where we just have done what we've always done. We make things happen. This is
Yeah.
what we do. And so surrender,
It feels like weakness.
it does. It feels so anti to our personalities
Hmm.
and it is very disorienting.
Agreed.
Very disorienting.
Yeah, that's very true. So then you walk us through the book. So throughout the book, you're kind of taking us on this transformation, metamorphosis of this caterpillar, right? Which is you and your journey from the dip of 2022. So I think if you can give a brief summary of what the dip is, it'll lead me into my next question.
So the dip shook my life off of its foundation. Seriously. I think most people went through their dip in 2020 when the pandemic hit and they were at home with them kids that they birthed and them husbands that why did I even marry you? I don't even like the way you breathe. Like you're annoying, but because you hadn't spent time with your children and them teachers were getting all the accolades because who are these kids? And is this how they're treating you in the classroom? And so everybody else kind of went through their dip of 2020, but it didn't catch up to me until 2022 because honestly, we had already been homeschooling. We had
Hmm.
already been through like this transition that everybody else was fighting
Coming
for
into
their lives for. And I was cracking up. Little did I know mine
yours
was
was
coming
coming.
just in a different way, right?
Hmm.
And so the dip, it just looked like just when the world was opening back up and getting back to a sense of normal,
Hmm.
it looked like me questioning all of the things. Like it just, nothing was functioning. I was feeling things that I didn't feel. It wasn't depression, but it was more like, I'm trying this and it is not working the way that it has been in the past. I'm
Hmm.
struggling. I'm working extra hard to put together offers or show up to serve or even show up enthusiastically for my family. Everything was a struggle.
Hmm.
And so I felt like I hit a wall. And I remember this experience when I was little. We used to live in these apartments, and when you live in like a multi-level apartment building, the kids gonna play inside because we live in Seattle, and 9 times out of 10
It's raining.
it's raining. And so we're running through the hallways, I'm chasing this boy, and I don't know if he was like, dang, she's fast. But there were these fire doors. Like, so if there was a fire, it would separate,
Hmm.
the halls. And he closed the door on me, but I was running so fast that I ran straight into this metal door
Oh my
and it
goodness.
knocked the literal wind out of me. And I was gasping for air. And
You
that's
was getting it, weren't you?
I was moving, and he was like, "Oh, she's not gonna catch me, but she's about to catch this L because I'm shutting this door." And so he knocked the wind out of me, and that's what the dip of 2022 felt like.
Mm.
Like the wind had been knocked out of me, and I just could not catch my breath. It was hard because of how I had showed up in the past, being supportive, being a servant,
Hmm.
being there for everybody else. And when you are not able to do that, like I said before, it's disorienting and you almost are having an identity crisis
Right, right,
because I've worked all this time to become this person. Like, how am I not this person?
right. And the things I've been doing have been working. So why
Yeah.
aren't they
So
working?
why aren't they working? Like
Yeah,
we have experience in this. If you do A plus B should equal C
every
every time.
time. And
And
when
no
it
matter
does it,
how you're rearranging things, it should work. And it just wasn't working
yeah.
at all. And so it hit me like a ton of bricks. I wasn't even at home. I was in California. What I remember it vividly.
Mm.
I was in the hotel lobby. I had just started doing this online community that I was building and, was showing up, was super excited. And then God was like,
Sat
you got,
down.
and it was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Mm.
And I
Yeah,
just began the process of offloading all of the things
yeah.
and peeling back all the layers. And here we are.
I love it. And I love that so you give us the different stages. So we have the caterpillar stage, we have the chrysalis stage, and we have the butterfly stage. And so I was wondering, when I'm reading the book and I'm thinking for myself, like, oh, this is this stage. So
Yeah.
can you give some like day-to-day examples of like what those stages could look like in someone's life where you're like, oh, this might be what this looks like if you're in the caterpillar stage versus the chrysalis stage?
So during the caterpillar stage, that's what we've been talking about. I've been a life coach since about 2015. I think I got my certification back then, and I have been showing up, have been in ministry for probably 10 years at that point, just supporting our local church. I hadn't been like working at a full-time job for a while by then, but all the skills that I had learned, I was putting into my business. I was hosting online conversations called Conversations with Keisha. I was just showing up, doing the work. I was raising the kids. Mind you, our kids are 7 years apart, or almost 7 years apart. So they're in two different spaces
Mm-hmm.
and stages in their life. So Sine was, doing her thing, walking in her purpose, and Keelan was just trying to figure out where he fits in this whole scenario and trying to find like what did he love. And as parents, we parent the kids that God has given us, and so showing up for them is of utmost importance to us. So it was just regular life,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
parenting, mothering, wifing, all the things. And wifing carries a lot of weight in this household because that husband of mine,
He's not a usual type of
no,
character.
he's not like he gonna have his hands in something, and I'm gonna stand beside him.
I'm gonna stand beside
I'm
him,
gonna stand beside him. That's what I'm gonna do.
10 toes down
Ten
every
toes
time.
down.
That's the truth.
And then it was April of 2022. And after that is when felt the compulsion to go into the chrysalis. And then everything stopped. Like literally, people like Tarika and Shawana, they even start feeling the effects of the dip because they're like, we don't know what is wrong with you. Because I just got back to the basics. I'm like, okay, what do I know? I know that I'm a child of God. I know that you have given me this man as a husband because we've been through our own butterfly season, right? And I know that you've given those kids to me because if you ask my brother, he'll tell you when he looks at the kids, he's like, this is crazy because I know you said out of your mouth so many times, I don't want to have kids. So I know these kids are supposed to be here. So I got back to the base, and the base was show up, meet with God, support Buki, my husband, and support Sine and Keelan, my kids. And so everything looked drastically different because up until that point, I have been juggling all of the things. And now it's just like, hey, here's mom, here's wife, but you don't even recognize how overstimulated your body is from doing all the things until you stop doing all of the
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
You don't realize how tied to your identity doing all the things are until you sit down all of the things for real. And not sit them down to pick them back up eventually. Sit them down with the thought that I might not ever do this anymore. So who am I?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what was happening in the chrysalis. It was just regular life, going to the grocery store, cooking dinner, meal planning, trying to get fit,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all of those things was happening in the chrysalis. And then boom, butterflies, God started giving me the inkling like, oh, I need you to go back to what I gave you before. But now when you go back, you'll go back with fresh eyes.
Mm-hmm. That's
And you'll
good.
begin to see where you kind of went left. Because if he had let me keep going, it would be totally different what I produced, what the fruit was. And he's like, okay, now I want you to go back. But now you're going to go back with a tender heart. You're going to go back more compassionate Because baby, before I'd be like, why can't you just get this done? It just like, what are we talking about? But now I understand, and I'm so much more empathetic and compassionate towards others because of what I experienced in the dip of 2022. And so, I'm hosting, leading a women's group called Women of Grace now. I am created and finalizing the Get It Done method, which is my signature transformation. I've written this book. I hosted Dream It retreat, and so there are some. They're the essence of some of that stuff from my past, but it's just totally different than it was before.
I love that. I love that. And you say in the book, when God is ushering you into a new season, comfort becomes your cage.
Ooh,
And I said, whoa, that's good.
yeah,
Because you can get so comfortable that you are so stagnant
yeah,
and you don't even recognize it, right? Because it's comfortable
yeah.
and you done caged yourself in.
And it's the illusion of success, right? It's the illusion. I remember we went to go see Michelle Obama when she wrote Becoming and in Chicago. I just remember her saying like she had did all the things. She was the lawyer. She was doing all the things. And then she was like almost like she built the ladder on the wrong building. Like she
Mm,
was climbing the wrong ladder. And that's what success will do to you if you're not careful. If you don't have enough autonomy, you'll get sucked into the world and their
yeah,
expectation and their definition of success. So you have to literally figure out, what does success look like for me,
yep,
and not this level of success that's comparing yourself to what everybody else is doing.
yeah.
It's this it's success based on who God created you to be in the earth. And we get caught up.
That's true. I mean, that was COVID for me. Like I really had to sit with myself and realize like you're tracing all of these ideas of success, right? The degrees, the titles, the jobs, and you're just on this hamster wheel and someone else is controlling the target.
That's it.
And so it really made me refocus. Like you don't really need all of this to maintain your household. You don't need all of this for your kids to be happy.
Nope.
And so it really just shifted my whole way of just thinking and showing up. So you're true. And that was my next question was, does the idea of doing or success play in keeping someone stuck in a season that God is calling them out of?
Yeah. It's the seduction of success that gets you caught up in this web, right? The seduction, right, is also what makes us disobedient to what God is calling us to do. Right. And so then you begin to like convince yourself that you are being faithful. It's
Yeah.
like, I am. What are you talking about? Like, I'm doing what God has called me to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And, but it's just that lack of fulfillment.
You're right. Success will make you think other things fulfill you. You know what
Ex-
I mean? And you're like, wait a minute, I don't even like that. And
Exactly.
but you've been drinking the Kool-Aid for so long that you start to believe it for yourself. And it's like, that's not who it is. That's not who you are.
That's right.
I love that. I love that. And then you have what you define as holy disruption. Break it down. I was like, ooh, Keisha, you are really coming for people's throats in this book right now. And I appreciate it, but I'm kind of feeling away.
Well, because most of us are hard headed, and it only can be a holy disruption is because hello, he been like knocking on the door, and you're like, I'm gonna be there in a second. I'm gonna be there in a second. And so he has to do a holy disruption because we're hard headed.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, my dad would be like, a hard head makes a soft every time. And
That's
so,
every single time. So that's what a holy disruption is. A hard head makes a soft behind.
but the thing is, and it's funny because I think about the character of God, right? And he's so gentle and so loving. And even with that correction, though it may feel like, geez, you're bopping me, it's still out of love.
It is always out of love because his correction is usually for our protection.
Right. That's good.
He's not correcting us just to chastise us because oh, you're doing something wrong. He's like, no, if I do not stop you, you'll put a fork in the light socket.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I have to pop your hand and say no because I'm protecting you from yourself. So
Yeah.
his correction is usually a redirection, is always protection from ourselves. Because we
Mm-hmm.
get ourselves entangled in some things.
Mess. Quick. You're like, how I get in that?
How
How
did I
I
get
get
in
in
here?
that?
How did we get here?
I was just minding my business and I done got into that. That's the truth.
Now I'm all messed up.
Looking like, Lord, why?
Yep. So it's an invitation really to something more. And we all get that thing like in the pit of our stomachs or that unctioning as the Christian folk like to say in our spirit that says there's something more here and you know it and until you surrender and if you're not willing to do it gracefully, he'll just drag you. He'll yank your chain.
Yeah.
And so that's what a holy disruption is. It's the, get back on the track, honey. Get back on the path. Come tap in with me real quick.
Yeah, and I loved how you said in the book how oftentimes we'll, God will give us some like give us a word or give us like this is what I want you to do, and we just run with it. But we never come back or tap in like, Lord, we never keep the conversation going to hear like, do you need me to change? Is there a redirect? Is there a pivot? And I was like, ooh, right.
Yeah,
Guilty.
because we're not running the same race. We're on the same track, but we're running a 400 and he's running a 4x1. He's like, you need to tap in, but you finna run this whole track and you never needed to do that. I
And be
wanted you
burnt
to hand
out.
and be burnt out.
What I'm learning in this season is community is so important.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like everyone, or it's a body, many parts for one body. And if that's the community part of this, right, is
Yep.
tapping into the other parts of the body that we all can benefit and love on one another and grow and be like, oh, you have that skill? Let's do this. Let me bop, 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 bop. And so, yeah, it's been a growth moment for sure.
Yeah, that's absolutely. And if the enemy can get you to not lean into community, then he can get you to not live into the greatest two commandments. Love your Lord your God with all your body, soul, mind, strength, everything.
And love
And
your
love your
neighbor.
neighbors as yourself.
Yeah.
And so if he can get he's like, you gonna love God, but let me
Disrupt.
disrupt loving your neighbors as yourself. Let me disrupt community because I can get you in isolation.
Hmm.
Then I can get you feeling like I don't lonely.
Yeah.
Then I can send you down a hole of depression
Yeah.
if I can just get you to think you don't have community.
Yeah. I can get you disconnected. And
Yes.
that's it. 'Cause community is a mirror, like how God sees you, right? Because when you look in the mirror for yourself, you're in some like clown mirror. It's like the circus mirror, and you miss it. And so having community is like, nah, this is who you are, and they
Yeah.
breathe life into you
Yeah.
when you don't have it for yourself. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so that's the importance of community because it's a true reflection of who you are based on how God sees you.
Yes. I don't remember where I heard this, but it was so profound to me. We will never see our own face. We will only see a reflection of ourselves our whole life. We'll never be able to see what other people see. And so you have to be in community so that you can learn more about yourself. Things
Hmm.
that you didn't even know about yourself can be found in the life-giving words of community.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. So, what do you want your readers to take away after reading Butterfly Season?
I want to demystify the perspective. That's what I want because we are miscategorizing what certain seasons are based on what we're experiencing, right?
Hmm.
Just because you're still doesn't mean you're stuck, right? Just because there's silence doesn't mean that God's not working something in you. Just because you're older doesn't mean your life is over.
That's good too. Yeah.
Like there is still life to be had. There is still purpose to be had. And so I want to demystify this idea of 9 times out of 10, it's not what it looks like.
That's right.
And you're calling a certain season bad based on what you see, when the reality of it is, don't wait till hindsight is 2020 to be like, oh, that's what that was. So I want you to classify it correctly. Could God be telling me to slow down? And is slowing down bad? It doesn't have to be bad. It might be necessary. It is always good if God asks you to do
Yeah.
it.
And oftentimes is necessary.
Yes,
It's like you're burning yourself out.
exactly.
That's really good. I love that.
Yeah.
I really
Because
do.
it's not just about, I think people want to skip the cocoon.
Yes.
And honey, you can't skip the cocoon. You don't go from the caterpillar to the butterfly, because this simple reason: a butterfly is nothing like a caterpillar, except for the fact that everything that the butterfly is was stored in the caterpillar.
Mm.
But how it functions is totally different than the caterpillar.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. I mean, it's just like, when you accept the Lord, right? You are a new creature. You are new. So that is,
So come on, you putting the pieces together.
come on, pieces coming together. You
Yeah,
see how I do
you
that?
put the
You see
pieces
it?
together.
Boop, 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 boop.
Listen, understand there's a subliminal message in this book, and you just caught it.
I do, I'm a baseball mom. So I do, I catch some things. What word or words of encouragement would you give to your readers as they start this journey of discovering where they are in their transformation process?
I use the words locate yourself intentionally in the book, because I
Mm-hmm.
could have said reflect,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I use the words locate yourself because I need people to not rush through the process. And if you have the capacity to locate yourself, then you can slow down or go at whatever pace God is taking you. And so I just want to encourage you to locate yourself. Where am I? And then when God gives you the answer, let that be it. Let that be enough.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a caterpillar season, so many people want to rush through. Oh no, I want to be a butterfly. But you can't even grow to the butterfly that you are called to be unless you go through that caterpillar stage. And you can't grow to be a butterfly until you go through the chrysalis stage. And so locate yourself. But when you locate yourself, don't rush the process. The cycle is going to continue. And I just want to encourage you, just because you feel like I've arrived and I'm a butterfly now, doesn't mean that there's not another caterpillar in you that's going to start that cycle and that process all over again.
Finish the sentence. Although it may seem painful, on the other side, dot, dot, dot.
On the other side, what's forming in you is more beautiful than what's falling apart around you.
Come on, Keisha. That is that is very good. I love it. I love it. I love you. I'm excited about this book. It's funny. My October podcast guest was like, "Oh, I'm in this book club. We're reading Butterfly Season, and it's just shaking me." And so it's doing some good work in people, and we're excited. And now this is a soft launch. Your official launch is in January, correct, for the
Yeah.
book?
hmm
And are
So
you
we went
still planning
through.
that, or
Listen, I'm in my own butterfly season.
okay?
This is new for me as well. And so I'm having to locate myself and trust God in the process. And so my intention is to have a book launch in January, in the middle of January. And, you know,
Go from there.
just go from there. Just one step at a time, one foot in front of the other.
Well, I'm excited. I love you to pieces. Whatever I can do to support, I'm there to do it. Thank you. Thank you for being on the podcast. I
Thank
love
you
you
for
so,
having
so
me.
much. And to my listeners, of course, I'm gonna always link everything in the description. It's on Amazon. It's called Butterfly Season by Miss Lakesha Gates. I hope y'all pick it up. It will definitely bless you. And thank you for listening. And we'll check you out next time.